If you've been wanting to do a single-leg Romanian deadlift or an RDL, but your balance and stability, they're not quite just there yet, keep watching this video. I'm going to break down how to do a supported single-leg RDL, the benefits, the main muscles trained, and how to progress. I'm Dr. Elise Brown. I'm a scientist who studies how exercise helps to prevent and slow the progression of diabetes. The supported single-leg RDL is a variation of the traditional RDL. A single-leg RDL that's not supported by a bench, a rack, or an other stable structure requires balancing on one foot as the hips flex and extend while holding a weight like a dumbbell or a kettlebell. But what if your balance isn't quite there yet? That's where the supported single-leg RDL comes in. Instead of balancing on one leg entirely, you can support your non-working leg by resting your knee on a bench beside you. This is going to add more stability, which is going to allow you to focus more on your technique and moving the weight safely. Once you're ready to move past the knee support, you can then progress to another type of support, like grabbing on with your hand to a stable rack at the gym, or if you're at home, grabbing onto a stable structure like a countertop, a table, or in my case, the handrail at the top of my stairs. A supported single-leg RDL has many benefits. One of them is that it can help improve your mechanics in isolating hip extension, and this may carry over to other more complex versions of the deadlift. While the movement of hip flexion and hip extension is often referred to in the fitness arena as hip hinge, I don't like to use that term because the hip is not a hinge joint, it's a ball and socket joint. I think it's absolutely fine to use that term as a coaching cue, hip hinge, if it gets your client to do what you're trying to get them to do. But for accuracy and hopefully to reduce confusion, I'm going to stick with hip extension and hip flexion. If you're finding the information in this video useful, please hit like and subscribe. Another benefit of this exercise is that it helps to increase balance and stability. Think of the supported version of the single-leg RDL as a stepping stone to eventually be able to do a single-leg RDL without any type of support. The supported version is going to help you develop the necessary balance and stability that's needed for the unsupported version. Since this is a unilateral movement, meaning we're training one limb at a time independently, rather than training both limbs at the same time like you would in a conventional RDL, this is going to help to reduce any muscle imbalances from one side to the other, and that helps to reduce injury risk. Another benefit is that you can typically use heavier weights, which helps to increase strength even more because you've got added stability of that bench. The main muscles trained in the supported single-leg RDL are the hamstrings and the glutes, which work together to extend the hips. Then we've got other muscles that act as stabilizers throughout the movement, and these include hip adductors, some of our core muscles like abs and back, and ankle stabilizers like the gastrocnemius. To set up for the supported single-leg RDL from a bench, stand beside the bench and rest one of your knees on the front of the bench. Hold a dumbbell or kettlebell in the hand that's on the same side of the knee that's on the bench, meaning the opposite side of your working leg, and hold your other arm straight out to the side as a counterbalance. For the side with the foot that's planted on the ground, which is the working leg, the shin should be aligned with the front of the bench, and there should be a slight bend in this knee. Brace your abs. And I've got a video right here if you're wanting to know more about abdominal bracing. Keep your chest squeezed up and back flat without changing the knee angle in the working leg. Begin to lower the dumbbell or kettlebell towards the floor by flexing your hips, staying close to the front of the bench while keeping your arms straight. Once you reach a point where you can't go down any further without sacrificing that flat back, you're going to likely feel a stretch in the hamstring of your working leg, and that's when it's time to come back up. Drag the dumbbell back up close to the front of the bench while still maintaining that flat back. The neck should stay in a neutral position throughout the movement, which will likely have you looking down in the bottom phase. Two common mistakes with this exercise that you're going to want to avoid include rounding the back, so make sure to keep it flat, and the torso can also easily twist as you move, so make sure that you keep your shoulders parallel to the ground. Now, once you feel like you've mastered this version of the exercise, you can then progress to another supported version where you hold on to a stable structure with your hand. In this variation, still keep the weight on the opposite side of the working leg. Begin to move your non-working leg to the back wall while allowing the dumbbell to move towards the floor, bending at the hips with a slight knee bend in your working leg, just like the previous movement. Think about the torso and the leg that's moving backward operating as a single unit. The supported single-leg RDL is a great way to build strength, balance, improve muscle imbalances, and improve movement quality when it comes to hip flexion and hip extension. Let me know down in the comments what exercise that you want me to break down next. Thank you for watching.